Namaskar. In my previous hangout, I had said that 4 people should be taken in for custodial interrogation on top of Chitra and Anand in the NSE colocation scam. Now, to understand this colocation scam, there are many parts in this. And I have told you about one thing, which was the getting of the examination paper a day before the exam. Was that the only scam? No, there were several scams. In fact, the very first one was that NSE did not get the permission of SEBI before it started colocation services. It started it in January 2010, and they did not get SEBI's permission to do that. So essentially what we are looking at is, if a stock exchange does something that doesn't have the blessing of the regulator, which means that any trade that has been done using this new feature is suspect. So do we then say that the last 12 years of trading using colocation is all null and void? You can't do that. Much water has flown down the Ganges. It's now all over bar the shouting, which is what exactly is happening. So now the government is trying to nail some people, but who they should be really looking at is the first set of CEO and chairman at the time this colocation was started in NSE. It was a wink, wink, nod, nod situation. If you look at some of the reference links I have provided in the show more section, you'll understand and you'll get an idea of what exactly was the scam. So in Jan 2010, NSE starts colocation and people don't understand what happened, and SEBI doesn't even approve it. SEBI itself perhaps didn't know what exactly colocation could do to the trading. It was actually wreaking havoc. And this is where I want to try and tell you what really was happening. Now, you, the retail investor in the stock market, you could be in Mumbai, you could be in Bengaluru, you could be in Delhi, you could be in Ahmedabad, you could be in Kolkata. What you were given was a 2 megabit per second dial-up speed, 2 megabit per second. Today, you can easily do using Airtel about 30 up and 50 down or something of that nature, very, very fast. But in those days, the retail trader had only 2 megabits per second connection, whereas those who signed up for co-location. What is co-location? Co-location is when the company which wants to do trading at the National Stock Exchange got a computer right near the National Stock Exchange matching engine server. What is a matching engine server? A matching engine server is the one that matches the buys and sell requests and then gives the thing, okay, you can sell this to this guy at this price, and then the deal is over. I collect my commission. The new guy gets his shares. The guy who sold it gets his money. Everything is hunky-dory. Collect taxes, hunky-dory, wah, wah, wah. Okay, so what happens is when one of the counterparties is sitting right by the exchange, they get to see everything ahead of time. Now, today, most of the employees in MNCs or even in private companies in India, they all have this SIPs. And these are like systematic investment plans. I don't know what exactly it stands for. Let's just go with SIPs. Now, SIPs are now being, given by your HR department. So the HR will come and tell you, okay, we have approved these 4 mutual fund companies. You choose which one suits your needs. You can put however much amount you want to put. There are some limits about how much you can and get tax breaks and so on and so forth. But essentially, they are committing you to put your money in a mutual fund company. Right? Now, what does the mutual fund company do? The mutual fund company has a specialist who is constantly looking at the portfolio that he is managing. A portfolio could be a group of like 10 companies that form the mutual fund. And in these 10 companies, they'll have weightage. Infosys, 30%, HDFC, 25%. You get the idea. The whole thing will make up 100%. Now, this person sees that, I think Infosys stock is not going to do well, so I'm going to reduce my exposure on Infosys. And therefore, what he wants to do is he wants to sell 1,000 shares of Infosys. 1,000 shares. Now, the mutual fund company can't sell the entire 1,000 in one block because the person who's going to buy it may not be able to take that much quantity in one shot. So what they do is they tell their broker, okay, listen, I don't mind if this lot of 1,000 shares gets sold in a range between, say, 2,500 rupees to 2,000 rupees. I'm just making up these numbers. I don't know what the current stock price of Infosys is. I'm just giving you a number, and it could be any other company also. It doesn't have to be Infosys. 2,500 is the upper limit, and I will go as low as 2,000 to get rid of this 1,000 lot. Now, remember I told you there are these companies who are sitting in the co-location. They are co-located with the NSE's engine. Now, these companies, because they are so fast, so close to the NSE matching engine, they see all these requests come first. Remember, you, the retail investor, is in Bengaluru or even in Mumbai, but you are on a 2 Mbps line. These guys are getting it at extremely high speeds. I'm so oversimplifying it at this point, but just take my word for it. The person who's co-located can be 100, many times faster than the person who's trying to make the same deal from a faraway location. So what do these companies do? They see that there is a big order of sell coming for the Infosys stock. Infy is a Nifty 50 stock. It is very valued. So people immediately get interested. So this co-location company starts looking at what could be the upper limit and the lower limit of this lot that this particular mutual fund is selling. Now, what they do is they try to make some small trades to establish this high range and low range. How do they do that? They'll first buy 100 shares for, say, 2,500. And immediately that gets sold. That, okay, this is the high limit. They don't need to have the exact high. They want to know what the low is. And I'll tell you why. So then what they do is, okay, this is the high maybe. Now I am going to see what is the low. So they try to buy another 100 shares at, say, 1,800. Now, the mutual fund has told strict instructions not to go below 2,000 to sell. So 1,800 gets rejected. Then the co-location company makes it to 1,900. Still no bite. Then they make it to 2,000. Then immediately the other side sells. So now they have 100 shares bought at 2,500 and another 100 shares bought at 2,000. Now they know that the lower limit is 2,000. Then what they do is they immediately go and buy the remaining 800 at 2,000. So what did they do? They got 900 shares at 2,000 and 100 shares at 2,500. We can average say that it is closer to 2,000, like more like 2,040 or 2,050 for the entire lot of 1,000 shares, right? Now they bought that and they sit tight. You, the retail investor, also see this thing come on the ticker tape. Infosys is being sold at 2,000. That's a great deal. I want to buy it. Now you go in and try to place an order for 100 shares at 2,000, no bite. You go 2,100, no bite. 2,200, no bite. Finally, when you hit whatever the limit this co-location company wants to sell this at, that's the price. Let's say if they say we will sell this only at 2,500, then you, the retail investor, will buy the entire thing at 2,500. What is the margin these guys made? Between 2,050 and 2,500. 450 rupees per share. 1,000 shares. You do the math. How much money they made? Okay, the point here is that they can do this thing all day long, which means they will keep on winning. They can always be the ones who get to look at all these meaty orders and then sit on it and then sell it at the right price. Now you understand what I'm talking about in terms of like ticket scalping, that this is actually something similar to selling cinema tickets in the black market outside. You go and buy the entire tickets from the theater for the particular show, and then you sit outside and wait and see all the people who are coming in to watch the movie, and they say, okay, you say, well, this is the price today, you want to buy it, this is the price. So the guy has already invested 1 hour sitting in the traffic, getting dressed, everybody is all ready to go, they have a planned evening, they want to watch the movie, they want to go and eat at the mall, whatever. So this kind of stuff is what this co-location was doing. So without completely understanding the implications, this was enabled at NSE. And SEBI didn't, I don't know if SEBI even said, yes, this is okay, this is approved, because SEBI would have normally had to have a white paper, a discussion with all the different exchanges, get all their inputs, and then only put this into practice. Whereas NSE just ramrodded the thing into everybody's down everybody's throat, and suddenly all those who got in at the co-location level, they got they got to make a big killing. Okay, it didn't stop here. The next thing they did was, remember I told you that this game can be won by the co-location exchanges only if they control all the big stock movements of a particular company. So what they did next was, the companies who are located in the Bandra Kurla complex, which is where the NSE is located, now they also wanted to be able to be the first to look at all the trades that were coming in the Bombay Stock Exchange, which was located some distance away. What they did was they laid down a super fast line. And now what they could do was, if somebody was offloading Infosys stock on the Bombay Stock Exchange, they could get first dibs at that one too. So that was the other thing that NSE allowed, and that was also not legal. So there are lots of things, lots of technical nuances here, and I hope that the 30+ man team that CBI has assigned to investigate this looks into all these things. But my first suspect would be, how did SEBI allow NSE to do co-location without checking how good or bad it was, how it was going to hurt the retail investor? The retail investor stood no chance, in my opinion. Therefore, this should have been nipped in the bud. They didn't do that. And that was the biggest black mark against SEBI. And who was the SEBI chairman at that point? 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀. And who was the NSE chief executive officer? Ravi Narain. Now play this out. Ravi Narain is back, is holed up in London. I don't think he's going to come out. India will have to go through all the paperwork process to get him back here, to try him for whatever crimes that they are going to tell he committed. But 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀 is here. CB 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘀𝘀 is in India. They take him in and do a custodial interrogation as to how the heck or who told him to allow NSE to do co-location trading. And I'll also tell you, Finance Ministry made a huge error in judgment when they said that they will pick up the legal expenses of Mr. K.B. Krishnan and Ramesh Abhishek in their private lawsuit that was started by 63 Moons founder Jignesh Shah for 10,000 crores. Why should the government foot the bill? How did the government foot the bill? And who in the Finance Ministry suggested and got it approved? Come on now. These are very serious questions. So tomorrow, if P. Chidambaram, being the Finance Minister, also says, well, I was also doing my job, you should foot my bill also, will the government do that? So this is nonsense. They need to first break that. They have to go back and collect all the money that has been paid towards the legal fees for defending these two rascals in the court. They have to do this. Otherwise, I will not take it that this government has the intent to throw all the bandicoots in jail. If you don't first stop this nonsense, then how do we know that you are serious? That people can be put to investigate. Investigate what? This is a difficult crime to investigate. A lot of data has been destroyed. So it's not an easy one. At the same time, there have been some glaring omissions, and those are the ones that have to be caught. And once you understand who or how the line of communication from where this emanated, you will be able to find the problem. There's also a couple of other black and white crimes committed. Those people have to be sent to jail. For example, I'm talking about the OPG based in New Delhi. And again, all these things have to be done in parallel, and you have to do it quickly. And the judge was correct in asking, what the heck was CBI doing for 4 years? My article about HFT and how this co-location is a bad thing came in 2015, April 10th, almost 7 years now since I wrote that article. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also please click on the bell button. Namaskar.